Resonance podcast with Sally. Welcome home, dearest love, dearest soul family. How are you today? This is the Roar and Resonance podcast, and my name is Sally Akandara, your cosmic companion and voice in the cloud. If you are returning, welcome back, my love. Hugs and kisses. If you are new to this sacred space, I welcome you with open arms, welcoming you home. I know it's been a long journey, and you can come into the space for a pause, for clarity, for peace. There is so much to gain from the sacred space. There's something to gain being within community. So welcome. On this podcast, we dive into personal stories of healing, rediscover our wholeness and sovereignty, and celebrate in our shared experiences, as well as uncovering the sacredness in all things, the you, the me, the us. So through an accumulation of knowledge in my astral travels to the Akasha, Hall of Menti, conversations with higher self, I use various esoteric tools to convey a tale of what will support our path towards remembering the I am in us. And on today's episode, we will invite in the wisdom of the Four of Wands in reversed. For those who are new to this space, I like to read both the upright and reverse position because it brings in the dark and light aspects of our human experience, all of which plays a role, all of which truly conveys the complexity of our human experience, of our eternal multidimensional being, soul within this human flesh. Sorry guys, something is stuck in my throat. Something wants to be expressed. Also, and I think it's funny that I said that because I know that that is very much related to the energies of the Four of Wands right now. But I'll get to that in a little bit. So a little bit about reading the tarot and how I go about using the tarot as my companion, my guide. I don't use the tarot as a fortune telling tool. Rather, I like to work with tarot to heal, remember my path, learn and expand, all of which we learn to accept the responsibility of being a creator of our own reality, an earth angel, a healer, a light worker. It is learning how to create our own heaven on earth. So when I tune into the wisdom of the Four of Wands today, I see a big, very big red wooden armchair, like the ones usually you see like on the coast, on the beach, like seaside homes. So what I see is a big wooden armchair, something like, and I feel so small looking up at that armchair, and I'm not able to reach the seat. So something feels very stifling, something feels very dampening, as if there's a joyful occasion that you want to share or something joyful, and it ends abruptly. Like that type of very scratchy experience. And this fire that I'm leaning into with the wands, I am feeling that into our dreams, our desires, and that there's a project that we want to share with our loved ones. And when we want to share it, it feels like it's not a good time, or that the joyful celebration is cut short, or as if the joy was sucked out of the situation. And four, the number 4, you can think of it like 4 legs on a chair. It's foundation. It's what holds us up. It's stability. It's harmony. It's unity. And with the Four of Wands in reverse, I'm feeling this tension, lack of harmony and unity within something very fundamental, something very foundational to our well-being. So that could be funny, money, family, money, funny, career, relationships, so all the things that really make up what brings us comfort and support. And there's this almost like there's this like lack of um there's this lack of support or emotional investment from friends, families, and colleagues that can be disheartening to say the least. And we begin to question our relationships and who we can lean on, who can we depend on. And have you ever had like that friend where you've had a bad day, you can lean on and go to them, and there's just something about their presence that brings a set of calm, like this calmness. Yeah, in this moment with the Four of Wands in reverse, we don't have that. And what is being revealed around this space too is this realization of how do we find the support within. I think many were getting all there's this nugget of knowledge that's coming through. They're like, oh, I need to lean on myself. I need to depend on myself. I could rely on myself to create sacred space, to be the witness, to be the cheerleader and the support. And in some ways, I feel empowered when I think of standing on my own 2 feet. At the same time, I feel this self-pity that's coming in to say, man, it really is just me. Like, yay, it's me. But at the same time, it's like, man, it really is like I have to lean on myself again. Like, it's just me. And what's empowering is that we get the clarity on who or what we can depend on, and through that, we can create boundaries and invite in people who resonate at those frequency. And as much as I say that it's empowering, it sure is freaking hard to manage and navigate when you're in marriages and family units, in a job where you need that job to pay the bills. Whatever it is not easy. It is not easy to follow that soul desire, that there's this calling so deep inside your soul. It's like, I need to do this. I need to do this. Yet we're not supported in that. So where do we lean for support? Who can we rely on for when we need that validation, when we want that extra, like, yay, you did it, that extra fullness of celebrations? Who can we lean on? And we're learning to lean on ourselves for that. But there is a moment where it's like wishing so hard for the people in our lives or in our present lives and our current reality to support that. But yet it falls short. And I feel into it. I feel like it's definitely not easy. And I know that our heart knows that things need to be different and conversations need to be had and actions to be done. And what I can say in this moment is that there's something that wants to be expressed. Right? Something so deep in our soul. Oh, okay. Something so deep in our soul that wants to be expressed, that wants to come out and say, yeah, that's it. No, I gotta do this. Like, I have to do this. And for a moment, I just had to pause right now because I'm feeling this big wave of emotions. I wanted to say whale, but big wave of emotions. Whale might be a significant totem animals for some of you guys out there. Where there's this wave of emotions, of deep heart passion, of really wanting to reveal ourselves, reveal this gift, this thing that we want to birth into this existence. I'm also getting that 7 might be a significant number for you. You might be seeing a lot of like 7s, 77. There may be even 7 people that are very significant to you, 7 important figures in your life. And what I hear and I feel into this is finding the courage to take those steps and to express. And there's something, like, again, deep in your soul that you're so happy and joyful for a reason. There is something that wants to birth. So when you close your eyes and lean into this feeling, there's something like a business, a project, a new creative, a book, a new painting, a poem that wants to come out. There's just something in your soul that just wants to come out. And you're called to surrender to this feel, like the if you really tune in and you allow your intuition to guide you and you ask these questions like, okay, what wants to come out? Just observe how that comes out. And here's a cool exercise you can do if you if you guys are writers who, or you like writing, or however, is to just kind of like come into stillness, sit, and then have your notebook ready, or if you're typing, you can have like your laptop out. But when you tune in and when you're ready, you can say to the divine, I am ready to receive. What do you want to co-create with me today? And when you do that, notice how your body may shift to bring in, to allow consciousness to come through, to flow through. And watch how it just start typing the words that come to your mind. Just start writing the words that come to your mind. You will get into a flow, a rhythm as you do this. Because one big part on how I was able to tune my intuition to is to trust the impression. So when I say I see things, I don't see things as if, like, I'll say I'm like watching a movie and it's super clear and crystal clear. There are times when it is pretty clear, like the image is very clear, but many other times there's an impression that's coming up. Like, for example, when I started this podcast episode and I said I saw a red chair, I seriously saw an impression of that red chair. So one of the things that to build upon and to master your intuition and master your gifts and abilities is to trust the impressions that are coming through, and just watch how you are validated by the divine. So if you were to ask the divine for like a sign about a certain circumstance, just watch how things show up. Animals might appear, repeated numbers might show up. So trust these impressions, and as you build upon this muscle, this intuition, you will get better at it. And I'm also feeling, when I feel into this moment right now, like I'm feeling very passionate. I can feel the divine working through me and talking through me at this time too. But what I feel into, there's this like joy, happiness. Those are high vibrational energy. Those are expressions of the divine. These are like divine and working. And we're asked to look into, like, if you're doing if what you're doing creates so much joy and happiness within you, like this pure love, this unconditional love, like regardless of whether it'll be successful or whatever, there's just a deep knowing, like, yeah, whatever. I know it's gonna be great. I know this is what I need to do. There's no question about it. There's just this deep soul calling to do it. And when you learn how to compassionately detach and focus a little bit more on your art? Can you create more space so that you can focus on this space that gives you joy? Because why are we continuously putting ourselves into places and situations along with people when they bring us stress, they bring us anxiety? I had a period in my life where there's just the situations that I was in, the circumstances I was in, it just created so much anxiety, and I don't usually get panic attacks. But goodness, like just how much your body holds on to all the trauma and the tensions and the stress, and it just has to come out. So then you see frequencies of those increase. So that's a little personal share right there. So I guess to come back to the original message is that why lean into the items, the things that are stress? And it might be the hard question. The hard question could be, am I addicted to the chaos? Is my nervous system so accustomed to the chaos? addicted to the chaos, and it needs that a little bit of chaos in your life so that you can feel like it's normal. Sometimes when we're in relationships and in experience, and when we've experienced a lot of trauma in our life, what happens to our body too is the trauma is stored within our body. And what happens is that when we are introduced and not having the great examples of love and respect and value and all of the above, what happens is that when we are in a relationship that is healthy for us, that is good, it feels like there's no spark. That it feels boring, that it feels like, whew, like there's something wrong. But what's something wrong is that our nervous system, not even wrong, but it's like our nervous system is so wired to being wounded up. It's so wired to be on edge, like waiting for the ball to drop, the other shoe to drop. So when we're in a normal, I'm not even gonna say normal, in a healthy relationship, we're like waiting, like, oh, is this too good to be true? When will that other shoe drop? Like, we're waiting in anticipation for it, and that leads to a lot of anxiety. Leads to a lot of issues and problems too. But what we come to realize is learning how to reprogram our nervous system, learning how to reparent ourselves to be able to receive and accept and surrender to healthy dynamics. So, I go back again to why I say all the things I'm saying right now, because if you can close your eyes and lean into this desire that wants to come into existence, how do you feel around it? Do you feel excitement? Do you feel joy? Do you feel anxiety? Well, label the things that are coming up. Like, just let whatever the emotions are coming through. And if you're not very well versed into like the emotions and the words to describe emotions, I'd encourage you to look up like an emotion wheel. You know, the ones where it tells you like these are the list of emotions, and it has like 3 concentric circles that tells you different emotions. And look at it and cross glance it and work to understand it, be curious, and I slowly and surely you'll learn how these words land, how these emotions land within your field. So when you do that, when you lean into the exercise of what brings you joy, what brings you so much unconditional love, like like if you have a pet, then you know this too. It's like when you have a pet too, it's like you have so much love, and you can see how a pet, like a dog for example, when they come and greet you every single day. So much love, so much unconditional love. So as it incite that feeling within you, this love, think about what is it that one experience that wants to come to existence, and think about that love and joy. Now, how do you amplify that? To be able to amplify that, you need to create space. How do you create space? You need to set boundaries. You need to know that no is a complete statement, and that you can say no to people, places, and things. And when you do that, you will give yourself the opportunity to lean more into what brings you joy. And I've learned that how to do that over with so many awkward dances. I've learned to embrace my no's. I learned to embrace my yeses. What this does for me is that it empowers me to be very intentional about my words, be very intentional about my commitments. Because when I say no to going out with friends, to let's say go into a bar, what I am doing is I'm creating more space for myself to dive into my art, into my expression, my writing. So observe how when you are intentional about your no's and what are your yeses, how that opens up opportunities for you how that creates more space for you to feel joy. And what you're doing as you're creating more space to feel this joy, you are going to attract in, where you are going to be, you are raising your vibrations in a higher dimension and to a higher timeline. And what you're doing is a higher frequency. And what you're doing is that you are attracting people, places, things that resonate with that. You might end up at a coffee shop, and as you're sipping coffee, as you're writing, as you're in peace, as you're in this moment of joy, you might find somebody who's like, oh, I'm reading that book too. Oh, what are you writing about? And then you find like this person is writing something similar, or they have similar interests in different ways of expression. And you just made a new friend. So can we lean more with ourselves? Can we lean more into our joy? Can we be our support system? Can we be our own witness? Can the divine being our witness be more than enough for you? And I think these are the questions that we'll leave the space for right now. And we'll allow this information to integrate into our field. And I invite you to really today, just how can you add 5 more minutes to your art, to your craft? How can you focus 5 more minutes on building that business that you've wanted to start for years? And I'm so excited, really, I'm sure many of our experience that are similar in many ways, and I would love to hear your stories and what you're bringing to life and how you're creating more space for yourself to devote to this art. So that's all that I have for you today. Thank you for being here. And if this message resonates with you, I invite you to subscribe, like, comment, and share. And thank you, my everything. Thank you, my soul family. Thank you. So until next time, the light in me sees the light in you. I love you.